I have a comment for Ms. Barboza and then a couple of questions for Mr. Ringo. Ms. Barboza, I listened to your testimony and the answers to the previous questions quite carefully. And you seem to be advocating using tax dollars for community organizers, voter education program, and electoral and union organizing. I don't think that tax dollars should be used for that purpose because it is designed to achieve a political advantage rather than to train people to do jobs, whether it's green-collar jobs or any other kind of jobs. And I would hope that you would rethink what your organization is doing because I don't think you're helping poor people get jobs by training them to be community organizers. You may end up winning a referendum question or electing somebody, but I don't think that that's what we have in mind in terms of providing job retraining funds. Now, that being said, Mr. Ringo, nuclear power plants have on average 400 to 700 jobs depending upon how big they are, and these jobs pay an average of 36% higher than the average wages or salaries in local areas. Would you agree that these are green jobs because nuclear power doesn't emit any greenhouse gases?
Well, I believe that it is important as we go into this new green economy that we diversify our energy portfolio. But we diversify that portfolio with energy means that will not have adverse consequences to us. We don't want to switch seats on a sinking ship, and I'm not saying I'm anti-nuclear, but I believe that nuclear has a place on that portfolio list if we can guarantee that spent nuclear waste can be properly disposed and we don't create adverse impacts on both the environment and people. And as well as coal or other industries. So sure, you can create green jobs from them, but we want to make sure that those jobs are not jobs that are going to equate into adverse consequences.
Now, that's fair enough. We do have a cap and trade system in existence in Europe, and one can buy carbon credits from that. The bottom has dropped out of the carbon credit market in Europe in the last 6 to 8 months or so. I am concerned that the thrust of your testimony appears to be that we would be financing these green trading programs on the revenue that would be obtained through carbon credits. Don't you think that's a little risky given the volatility of the carbon credit market where it has been tried?
Well, you're right. The carbon credit market in Europe has been challenged, and I think that we've just got to find effective ways to generate the necessary revenue that it takes to invest in research and development, but also, as I said, level the playing field. We are in our infancy with respect to what will work. And I think that it is important that organizations like myself, like Apollo Alliance and other organizations, give real considerations to, as I mentioned before, investing in ideas that will not have adverse impact on the economy or on this country as a whole. If it's not working in Europe, it does not mean it's not going to work here, but it's surely worth to try and worth the investment for us to see if we can find meaningful revenues to stimulate our economy and to level that playing field.
I have one final question, and that's on the issue of CAFE standards for autos.
Yes.
In your statement, you mentioned you support retooling incentives for the auto industry.
Yes.
Would you support CAFE standards being higher for the auto industry without the retooling standards, even though it might cost unionized auto workers their jobs?
Again, I'm talking about a level playing field. It makes no sense to me to have standards that are going to have adverse consequences. And I believe that standards are important, but standards should not cost jobs. And so we strongly support the idea of standards, but let's make sure that we don't create casualties as a result.
I thank the gentleman. I yield back the balance of my time.